2, 1. Welcome.
What's up? All right. Anybody who has tuned in 10 minutes ago, welcome back.
Tragedy has struck the Nobo podcast.
Yeah,
today.
we're just derailed. We had 10 minutes of steam rolling.
So anyone that's interested in running a Plex server from your house, you may have this issue where there's just too much internet bandwidth being taken and your whole internet just shuts down.
Stop being such a pussy.
Well, we've had some major issues, but we'd like to thank Gaz again for the 20th time for making this thing, happen, go live. We've been dealing with this now. We are 59 minutes in. We started a minute early because we tried to start the podcast. We have a lot of shit to do today. So with the podcast, the schedule is going to be set within like an hour's time. Yeah. It might happen an hour before. It might happen an hour after. If it says 11 a.m. West Coast time, it's going to be one or the other. But thanks, G, for, getting us up to par, getting us up to speed.
So where do we go from here? Do we pick up where we left off?
Yeah, I don't know who saw what they saw. I don't fucking know. Let's just, we'll jump back in. I think we're going to do live call-ins first, and then we're going to, kick some of you guys out. So anybody who's here wants to do a live call, G's going to drop the link in a little bit. In the meantime, we'll just talk about life, I guess, where we've been. Life's been busy. So this week's been pretty crazy. I'm back to my diet. I settled in California. My road trip was...
What is your diet?
Carnivore diet, dude. We'll talk about that another time. Raw liver. The drive here sucked. I'm out in Cali. If anybody haven't noticed, this is the new studio for the next week. Actually, no, studio. The next 4 weeks.
Ish.
Yeah, 4 weeks. We got this is the temp studio. Probably run each podcast combo like this. Yeah, we got our mics. Hopefully you guys can hear us. There's been tech issues that they might not fucking work. But what else? What else has been new? We got the house. You got the house up and running. You guys been getting budgets and estimates in. Yeah. A lot of sweat's been pouring around here.
Yeah, it's going to be hectic for the next couple of weeks. But podcast-wise, you guys probably noticing a lot of new stuff. New logo designed by our tech guy. We've got
He's not our tech guy. He's one of the executive officers. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the announcements we wanted to make today. So Luke, I'll let you present kind of the chief executives for the company. Luke, start it up.
So I'm Luke Lombardi, and I am the CEO of the Nobo podcast. We don't know how we came about that, but if you guys have any problems, questions, the board, stocks, anything, I'm the one you got to talk to, okay? Yeah, I'm the CEO. Then we got Matt. I'll let you take it from here on the next one.
All right, next one is the CFO or COO. Chief Operating Officer. That would be me. Make sure all the operations are in check. I really hold these boys accountable. I'm still trying to work with one of the other executives around using the proper operations and processes that we have in place. But that's kind of my main driving factor.
All right. So you're like you get the boat moving.
Yeah.
All right. So, I get the boat moving. You keep it running.
You're kind of like the leader.
Yeah. I just throw what I want up. I'm like, I want this done, guys. And then, the rest. Yeah. Then that drops us in the final one, the one that makes it happen. Technically, we do, but we got the CTO, Chief Technology Officer, Uncle Gaz.
Yeah, Uncle Gaz.
So, that's the team. That's the squad we got going. We got a lot of other projects. If anybody else wants, part of it, shoot the CTO a message. He'll probably veto it.
Or if you need any help with your business,
that's true.
Contact the Nobo group, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Yeah, business mentor group, got a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of things unbecoming. Okay. So we'll see. Are we live? Is it broken again?
We're live. Just taking a step out.
Again? All right. So, that's been happening. We got that with the Nobo podcast. I don't want to drag. We talked for 10 minutes already. So, that's gone. We talked about coffee. We talked about everything, some hobbies, but we got the house up and coming. We got to run there today, demo the shit out of it. So we're going to take some aggression out on that, rip the floor apart, throw some stuff in the trash can. We were laughing about that yesterday because we got to empty the whole house.
Yeah.
And we're just throwing shit away that's going to go sit in a landfill. So it's weird.
Yeah. We've got an ongoing bet right now. We've got a 40-yard dumpster. So your typical dumpster that you see, the roll-offs, the big long ones. We're debating with our general contractor designer that it's going to be one load or two. Luke and I think it's going to be two.
I think it's going to be two with floors, the whole backyard stuff, the whole entire garage, walls. Ron though insisted yesterday that it's not gonna.
Yeah, he's confident.
He said it's gonna be said. He's fuck, dude, 40 yards is huge. But me and Matt were talking earlier. Again, this just feels weird now that messed up our derails. I don't want to repeat myself. We were talking about pet projects, and I think me and Matt are like people who just like to adopt new projects and become the second best at things. So that's a CrossFit relation right there.
I think if you looked at last 2 weeks episode with the personality test, we're in that green category, and both of us are kind of visionaries. So we'll like to just
dreamers. Yeah,
exactly. Dreamers, high level visions, not so much the executors.
Yeah. Well, I've been referred to the last couple of days as from people, some friends, that I'm an artist, not in the literal sense of drawing or painting or like tattoos, but like my brain, it operates in an artistic fashion. So like, I see things, imaginary things, dream things, and then I need people around me to help implement those in a sense.
Visionary.
Yeah, but I like to, I think
have a vision.
I think an artist is a better term. So like I was, yeah, well, we'll have to talk to some people about that because I've been told I'm an artist, but
I'm going to call you a visionary.
All right, visionary.
You have a big picture. You always create this visionary idea. And then you just struggle with execution
of getting it done,
bringing it from your head to fruition.
Why is that?
Two things. One is just that's your personality type. Okay. Other is just with visionaries, not just you specifically. It's not like you just have one vision like most of us. Visionaries just can keep pulling ideas nonstop, or like maybe why you can't sleep at night. You're just thinking of different things to do. Like one day it's a podcast, other it's a coffee shop idea. Next it's some combination of that. The ideas just keep coming for visionaries. That's what they're good at. So they usually need or blend best with an executor.
And that's yourself.
No, I'm not an executor.
All right, so we
might struggle here until we fill that role.
All right, so we need to fill the role with the executor.
As you see, we're already spiraling out of control. We got 4. Luke and I have like 7 different business ideas. We keep putting it all under the Nobo group, but
well, we have the actual one business, the gym. By the way, please follow and subscribe. Thanks for the banner, Jay. On the screen. The Nobo podcast. So that being said, the Nobo group, we're trying to grow things. We got the coffee bus that we're working on. So we're going to do coffee. Matt's got the roasting company already. We're both working on our CrossFit level 4 credential. So that's up and coming in January 2023. Don't know how we'll do there, but that's a whole nother disaster of stuff. Geez, just throwing stuff up on the screen, throwing me off. Anybody want to call in before we dive into our topic of the day? So the podcast, this one again, is just going to flow a little bit different. So let's just talk about the topic of the day, and then we'll get some live call-ins.
So Luke and I's origins, as you both know, we're CrossFit coaches. It's one of our bigger passions, and we're going to dig into kind of the root of not only CrossFit but just fitness, and we're going to try to answer the question in many parts to what is fitness?
We're going to keep it as simple as possible. So we're going to explain one category at a time, kind of go through this because we think there's a stigma that CrossFit's a cult.
So G, real quick, pull us up websterdictionary.com and look up fitness.
Yeah.
And let's just see what the definition is per Webster. Because as Luke and I know, CrossFit
defines everything. If you're going to come to a CrossFit gym, be ready to get definitions thrown at you. Defined, simple, short, sweet. If not, I'll just write it, G. I'll just pull it up.
All right. Ignore the ads.
Ignore the iPad.
All right. So definition of fitness. Blow that up, G.
Okay, make that larger. Get rid of us for a second. All right. Define fitness for us, Matt. Just
the quality or state of being fit. What does this definition already have wrong with it? It's got the word fit in fitness. So let's go to number 2. The capacity of an organism to survive and transmit its genotype to reproductive offsprings as compared to competing organisms. What do you think of either of those definitions?
I don't think the first one's dog.
First one we don't like. It's got the word fit in there. So G, you'll look up fit.
Well, also, like, what the hell does that even mean? Yeah, define what fit looks like. Let's just keep running through some definitions. If you're going to define, like you just said, you can't, the quality or state of being fit means nothing to me. Because, like, where is the line? There's no actual definition.
So G's going to pull up the definition of fit.
G, just in the top bar.
The second one is too scientific. All right, here we go. Fit. Acceptable from a particular viewpoint. Wow, that is just as generic as you get.
Yeah, so it's awful. So.
Adapted to an end or design, suitable by nature or by art. Adapted to the environment so to be capable of surviving. So that standpoint, number 2, isn't too far off, but again, I think it's a little generic. It's not definitive.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to define fitness for them. Yeah. One model, right? There's a lot of different models. So I'm going to let you run with this, dude. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to do a lot of the question asking. Chat, pop them in there. We're going to, dig in.
Real quick. So I think this is going to blend real nice. If we look here at this definition of fit, we go all the way down to bullet point number 3B. Being in such a state as to be or seem ready to do or suffer something. I think that's as close as we're going to get to CrossFit's definition. All right, G, you can bring it back to us here. So CrossFit defines fitness in kind of 4 different domains. We're going to just start with one. It's called the Hopper model. Now, these definitions, Luke and I are going to talk to you about them in the CrossFit world at the box. We're also going to branch out, kind of show you how it applies to life.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with it. Dig in, make it relatable for everything, because it's not just about the gym. CrossFit's relatable to your entire life.
Now, before you get hype squad on us and try arguing, like I said, this is only one of 4. So we're only going to break down into this one piece. So I would hold those negative comments till the very end.
Yeah, throw them at us. We'll go. Throw them at us. We'll fight you on it right here, right now.
Yeah,
if you can prove to us,
send.
if you could prove to us that your argument's good, we're open to feedback. Just give us a solution. If you're going to give feedback, I want a solution thrown at us.
So the Hopper model. In simplest terms.
Wait, we got to reverse. We got to define CrossFit's definition first so they understand.
Fitness, we'll do that at the end.
All right. We're doing that at the end. We're going to do that at the end.
All right. So the Hopper model. I think this model kind of hits what CrossFit is. Constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity. Constantly varied is basically your Hopper model. The idea of the Hopper model is that any task inside this Hopper, whatever it may be, comes out and you can perform it and be prepared for it. So in terms of the box, it could be a series of movements. You could have a heavy back squat in there. You can have thrusters and you can have jump rope.
How they determine the events in the first CrossFit Games. So you have.
Thanks, G.
So
constantly varied functional movements executed high intensity. That's CrossFit's definition.
And we're looking at constantly varied here with the Hopper model. Okay. So we put all these things in a Hopper. Doesn't matter what comes out. You should be prepared for that and ready to go.
Okay. So we're going to define. Yeah, that sounds right. So the Hopper, everybody knows what a Hopper is. It's a giant, what's that bingo game ball where you throw a bunch of stuff in it, you twirl it, and boom, something pops out. So we're not even putting physical tasks. We're putting every single task in this that is known to man, right? Yep. And we're going to break it down to the box first. So like Matt was saying, CrossFit in a gym, you're going to walk into a gym. It's going to be back squat, 100-meter run, 4-mile run, 35 pull-ups, weighted push-ups, whatever you can think of in the box, right?
Yep.
Row a 500-meter sprint or at a slow pace or at a 2-minute pace. Like you should be able to do all these tasks, and then we're going to evaluate you on how well you can do them, right?
Yep. And these tasks are going to come out of this Hopper, and you will perform them, and you will be prepared for them. That's kind of the goal of CrossFit. A good way it's put is to do the unknowable and unknowing commonly well.
Again, defining just a bunch of stuff, throwing a bunch of stuff at you. So digging into that, relating it to, give us an example. What would that look like?
In life?
No, in the box. So
in the
doing
box?
The uncommon, what the hell does that even mean? You're going to do the uncommon, uncommonly well. Yeah. What would that even mean?
So just doing typical stuff, picking things up off the floor.
Okay.
Like anything. You're going to do that with great form and be strong at it.
Okay.
So doing it well.
Okay. So doing it well with great form. So we got to define what that
we're running, for example, right?
Okay.
That's common human function.
Yeah. Let's keep it simple. Yeah. Instead of like Yeah, let's not put rubber in. Let's just do really common, simple things. If I took 10 of us, everybody in this house, there's 3 people in this house, me, Matt, Trill. If we pulled out 400-meter run 4 time, who's going to perform it the best is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we go in there and then all of a sudden we pull out another task. And do we want this to be gym related?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to pull out max back squat. Who's going to perform the best? Then we're going to throw all 3 of us up. Luke will go, Matt will go, Trill will go, boom. And we're doing this all the same exact time. So we hit our run together, 400-meter runs. Let's say you win, right? You get a minute 10. I get a minute 15. Trill gets 124. Okay. Then we do the next one, max back squat. It's going to be based off of a couple of things, but let's say I win, right? I get 300-pound back squat. Matt gets a 298 and Trill gets a 125.
That's better than my PR.
I'm just throwing it out there just for the hopper model scenario. Okay. Then what? Then what happens next? So then we got the constantly varied, any task, we break it into other things. Now it's going to be like, you got to hold your breath. This next task comes out, right? Hold your breath for a minute. And then after that minute, you got to sprint 100 meters as fast as you can. Who's going to win? Second, you're done holding your breath for a minute. You got to go. Is that a task?
Yeah.
It's uncommon.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just randomly thrown at you. So we define all of those things in this hopper model. Now, how do we relate it to other things outside of the box?
Well, before we get to the box,
okay,
or out of the box, I think this is kind of where you see us get comfortable in CrossFit. So sure, you can argue that the workouts are varied, but they are usually known in most boxes. So most times you go to the box, you already know what the workout is. Either you have a SugarWatt app or it's posted up on the whiteboard when you get there. So you still have a general idea of what the task is. Sure, it may be varied, it may be different. I think the one place that a lot of boxes, last mine included, is kind of that unknown element to it. So think about something where you've got Fran, right? 21-15-9 of pull-ups and thrusters. It's known. But what if you were to do Fran and right towards the end when you see your athlete's just about to finish, be like, oh, by the way, you're going on a mile run. And when you come back, you're going to do Fran again in reverse.
But without announcing that to your people.
Yep. You're announcing it literally in the workout. Kind of like the CrossFit Games 2019 when they went on that trail run. They go to what they thought was the finish line. And Dave says, well, this is just the turnaround point. And they had to run all the way back. I think that's kind of one of the big pieces in the box that we miss a lot of, is just the unknown part. I think, you're still getting constantly varied, but you're not really prepping people, especially in a mindset term of like, expecting more.
All right. Well, let's make this simpler for anybody who doesn't do CrossFit. I want to ask you a couple questions. Why do we have to do constantly varied? What's that doing for us? Like, why can't I just do every single day? Mondays are back or leg day. Tuesdays are arm day. Wednesdays are, I don't fucking know how this even works. Back day, like all the different things.
Your body's going to adapt to that.
So doing constantly varied does what?
Helps your body continue to grow and adapt.
Okay.
And prepare for any combination of any set of tasks.
Because then the reason being, it would be like every Monday if something were randomly happen, I only get the leg day, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not that you can only do leg day, but you're only going to make your legs strong, and your legs and body are going to start to be like, hey, it's Monday. I know I'm going to just start lifting strong. They're just going to put enough into that.
So then if Tuesday came about and I were to do leg day, would I be able to? So that's I think that's.
You would be able to, of course. But again, you might get a little bit of a different stimulus. But again, it's not like oh, hey, we've done 2 days of back squats. Then we haven't back squatted for like another 3 months. Here's the back squat again. Your body's not going to know what to do. It can't adapt itself to the movements.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the constantly varied, it prepares you for the unknown is what you're saying. But the reason we do it is because variance allows for new adaptations is what you're alluding to or saying, right? All right. So that being said, if we go ahead and you were to, I guess the hopper model, we got to dig in a little bit more to that, right? So if we were to draw a picture of this bucket, we put a bunch of different things. The constantly varied does what else for us? Anything? Or it just is literally for adaptations?
What do you got?
Well, I'm asking you. You know? I mean, I could
go in more. It sounds like you got an idea.
I mean, I don't have an idea. It's just like the theory of like the wheelhouse, right? Is that part of the hopper model essentially? It's like here's our circle of different things. That's why I need the iPad, but I don't have it pulled up, Jay. So we got a circle of everything. Let me pull that up for me. Hold on, chat. Let me move this. Can you hear me, chat? All right, we're gonna pull up a couple different things for you. So we got draw you this, okay? Chat, you guys can see. So we're gonna go this circle. Come on. All right, circle. Okay, it's not the best circle. It's an okay circle. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna throw you right here. That's you. Okay, Matt. Does everybody see Matt? So my thought is this is everything on the outside of the circle is all things you're not comfortable with. So what are some of those things?
Swimming.
Swimming. Okay, he hates swimming. Okay, what else?
Surfing.
Surfing. Surf. You're not good at it.
I can't even do it yet.
Okay. Swim. Let's say you're comfortable swimming, but short distances. So you're not comfortable with 1,000 meters plus, right?
I would do the opposite. I'm bad at short sprints.
So you could swim longer, but just for the scenario.
Yeah,
All right,
okay.
Chad, just listen here. Okay. What are some good things you're good at? Like, what are some things in the gym you're good at?
Gymnastics.
Gym.
It's very broad, by the way.
Gymnastics. Okay. So we got gymnastics. That's his wheelhouse. Those are the things you're comfortable with. So a couple other things. Let's like throw some random things in there. Push-ups. Push-ups. 50 plus. You're going to crush most people. Then we're going to go outside of here. If I said 300-pound plus back squat, probably not for reps. You're not happy there, right?
No.
So the whole goal of doing this constantly varied thing is basically to expand the margins of your experiences is what we call it. So you're trying to push yourself outside of this comfort zone. We're going to make this simpler. We're going to pull away from the gym, and I'd like to talk more about it in your life to make it more comfortable. But if you constantly, are always doing push-ups 50 reps and up, you're never going to get good at maybe like 5 push-ups and then have to lift 20 back squats at 300 pounds, right? That's the whole idea. So if you continue
plus pull-ups, and that's
if you continue to do all these things within your wheelhouse, you're only going to get comfortable doing those things, right? So that's the idea. So every single thing, every Monday, I do back squat and I do 3 sets, 20 reps at 135 every single Monday. I'm going to get super comfortable right here in that scenario, right? That's my back squat, 3 by 20 every single Monday. Always do that. And then we do a bunch of accessory work around that. Then Tuesdays, the next day, or Wednesday, we do arm day. We only do presses, and we're really, really comfortable there. And we go presses. And then Thursdays, we only do gymnastics, but the gymnastics looks like what? Every Monday or every Thursday, you do 30 strict muscle ups. Okay. Now, if I said to you on the outside of this wheelhouse, the outside, what are some things that you're really uncomfortable doing? Instead of doing the push-ups at 50 reps plus every single Monday, now we're going to make you do 400 plus reps. Something that's going to be like scare the shit out of you. And the reason that would happen is you're never changing it up. So the CrossFit way is constantly varied.
And now we're back to the root question of what does that do for my fitness?
What does it do for your fitness?
Yeah.
So if I on one day, we'll call today's date. What's today's date? The 3rd or something, right? It's November the 4th. And I decide today's workout, we have rowing, burpees, and pull-ups. Tomorrow we have a heavy day with a barbell complex. Today's workout, I would say, is like short. Tomorrow's really short. Monday's really long workout. Tuesday's a short workout again. Wednesday's a short workout again, but with high volume and so on and so on and so on. It's constantly just making you do different things that hopefully push you outside of your comfort zone every single time. So that's the constantly varied part, in my opinion.
Right. But
like,
why do I want to push outside my comfort zone?
Because we want to expand the margins of our experiences.
And I look fucking
because
good naked.
we can get more results if we push harder outside of that window, right? If I always am doing 50 push-ups, I'm only going to be good at 50 push-ups, right? So if I don't do a day where I do 300 push-ups, and it could be every Monday, I don't care. Do it every single Monday. If you do 50 push-ups in 10 different ways, so you do 50 push-ups all at once and you do it for time. And then the next time you do 50 push-ups, you do it with like a slow eccentric. And then the next time you do 50 push-ups, you break it up and you do 1 rep at a time or hand release push-ups, right? That's different every single time. So it's creating a new adaptation for that body. And what do new adaptations do for you? They cause you to adapt, right? New adaptations adapt, which is then going to have a whole bunch of different things within your brain, hormonal and neurological responses, neuroendocrine responses, blah, 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 blah. It goes down the road.
Luke, I don't care about that. I'm a bodybuilder. Okay. This works. I look great.
Then you keep doing what you do. That's what I would tell you. But if you want to get to the root cause, what we started this, if you want to become the fittest, we got to define fitness, right? Because that's what this takes you to. You can continue to do your cycle and hypertrophy and all those different things, and you'll be fine. You'll look great naked. You will be somewhat strong. I'll be stronger than you because I'll be able to handle more unknown tasks. You'll be strong at one thing. doing 20 back squats at 135.
I would just say simple. You might look great naked bodybuilding, but you could look great naked doing CrossFit and increase the margin of your experience. So you can still look good naked, still get strong, and be able to do a bunch of random tasks in life so that when that time comes where something is thrown at you that you weren't necessarily expecting, you could do well. It doesn't have to be a physical event. It could be a tragedy.
Yeah, well,
a hurricane could blow through.
I agree.
And now we're going to get into the life part.
But if we were going to go ahead and say straight up what this started with, we defined what is fitness, right? So we went ahead, we said, what is fitness, right? And Webster Dictionary says one that is fit. So then we have to define what fitness looks like. And that's one of the 4 models. So we got 4 different models, like we said in the beginning. We got metabolic pathways. We got the 10 general physical skills. We have your Hopper model. And then we have our 4th one, which is the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum. Not in that order. You could go with whatever order you want, but we have to define each one. So we define CrossFit 4 different models, right?
All right.
So we're going to define today the Hopper model. That is doing the uncommon, or doing the common uncommonly well, right?
Right.
So we're doing those tasks. So if we're defining what is fitness, if I took a bodybuilder and me and we sat each other down next to each other and we pulled out a bunch of shit out of that Hopper. Right?
I don't even think you need to go to CrossFit though. Gee, pull up fit, the definition of fit again.
Well, in this context, we have to, right? If I pull a bodybuilder, me, and somebody who's never worked out before, and we said complete these tasks the best, the issue that Matt was saying, the variance means what? Varied. What does varied mean? Let's pull up varied.
Hold on, real quick though. Zoom in, G. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. All right, so that scroll down to number 3. Gee, this got me a different definition. Go to Webster.
Fit. He did the definition of fit from the Oxford Dictionary, and it's defined as fit.
We get to watch G's dictionary skills. Fit. All right, number 3. And if we go down to 3B, being in such a state as to be or seem ready to do or suffer something. There's the Hopper model right there for you. That's what is preparing you for. It will put you in a state that you will be ready to do or suffer something. Mostly focusing on the ready to do. I don't really believe in the suffering.
So what do you want to pull this up for?
This is the Hopper model.
Okay.
This is preparing. That's what it's doing. Throwing all these variant tasks at you, which variants, different tasks, different goals.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. But how do we define then from that moment who's fitter? We have to take a group of people.
Well, then, yeah, you would just do that exact definition.
Yeah. And to explain the Hopper model would just be like we take Luke, who's a CrossFit athlete, and we'll take a tennis player. Let's take Roger Federer. We'll throw you 2 down, me and him head to head, and we're going to pull out a bunch of unknown random tasks.
And a bodybuilder.
Let's throw those people in. And we're going to do a bunch of random tasks. And it's going to be, some of them are weightlifting, some of them are hypertrophy, some of them are combination, some of them are just long distance running, and so on and so on and so on. The way the constantly varied part of the Hopper model works is Arnold will win in the test where it's just like hypertrophy, just get mad amounts of reps. He's going to beat me. I'm the CrossFitter who I've dabbled into this idea, right? I've tried some of these things. I'm going to probably come in 2nd place. And then Federer, who plays tennis at a top level, like number 1 ever, he's going to probably come in dead last because he's not doing hypertrophy, right?
Yeah.
Then we're going to flip.
Don't take our word for it.
Yeah.
I would run this test with anybody in your group.
All right. So I think maybe, right, the concept of in the gym works. Now let's break it down and let's just leave the gym because, most of you probably don't care about the gym.
Right.
So
however, keep in mind that this fitness that we're talking about is more targeted for, like Luke's saying, outside the gym.
Yeah, we're going to dive into relating this, like we said, to business mentors. We're going to take these concepts and throw them at you in the real world. So we'll get some live call-ins if you guys got some questions about it, related, but real world. Okay. So we have this concept, this varied part. That's what we're focusing on right now. Constantly varied. And we're going to use the Hopper model, unknown things thrown at you. I've experienced it within the last week moving here.
Right.
How would you relate it to the real world? If we were to say the Hopper model, what would you do here?
Hopper model, I would just say
in the real
unknown
world.
Tragedy event. Luke and I live near the ocean now. Tsunami comes, knocks down the house. Luke and I are now in a situation that we didn't prepare for. What tsunami training did you do?
None.
None. So we're going to have to figure out how to solve the task that a tsunami has brought us.
Well, to defend CrossFit here, he's not saying we're mutant humans. We're not. There's like, we're going to die just like everybody else if a fucking tsunami comes and wipes us out.
Yeah, if Luke falls on a spear, he'll die.
We just have a greater chance of survival for a lot of different reasons, right?
Right.
Is your point.
Yeah, Luke gets a log pushed over him. He's trapped. He'll probably be able to bench press the log off of him. Now, Luke knocked over a bee's nest when he pushed that log. He's got to run fast.
Well, I don't even think it has to do with like, you said tragedies, right? I don't think it's tragedies. I think it's everything. It's everything and anything.
I'm just using an example.
Yeah, just being, well, you said like you would say in the real world it's related to tragedies. I would say it's everything. It's like if I said, play this, it's going to make you uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to be more comfortable than me because I've never even tried it before. I'm just holding this because it's, you know, it's my prop for the day. If I said, do you play it? You've experienced playing this at one point in your life, right?
Right.
So if I said you play a song, your experiences are wider than mine in this realm. Right. So I'm not going to be prepared. I'm not going to be uncomfortable. Right. Point is, you need to try everything in your life at least once to, at some point, not be uncomfortable with it. It's like getting a new job. Everybody's uncomfortable starting a new job, right? Doesn't matter if you're the fucking best at it. Like, I think I'm a good coach. I'm uncomfortable coaching at your gym right now. Only for the fact that it's like, it's new. It's like, all right, I go in class. Do they like me? Do they want me?
But it's just like the ukulele. You've coached before.
Yeah, I've done it before.
It's just a different instrument.
It's a different instrument. So I have experience in the coaching, so I'm okay doing it. But it's like, now imagine like, what's something, if you said to me, I start work on Monday, I've never done something like that in the sense of working in a corporate job in sales, but I've done sales before with the gym, the restaurant, all of those things. So I have some sort of experience in that. Now, a task that I've never done before is like coding. If you said to me, you have to do my job on Monday for me, I'd be fucked. Right?
Right.
Majorly, because I've never dabbled into it. Now, if I sat down with you at some point, this is where you guys need to take notes. You need to try everything once. So if you know people who can help you do different things in life, try it. Right? That's kind of the theory.
I don't think once. I think it's constantly varied.
Okay.
You can't just do one task once and feel any bit of comfortability.
Yeah, but the point is like, it makes you less uncomfortable. It's like, here's the principle. Do those things, but always come back to the principle. We'll take it to the computer software world, the kernel, right? The kernel lays down the law of like, here's how these things work. Now, let's make sure we follow the kernel, but try different things almost, right?
Right.
In a way. It's like, here's the methodology. Now we're going to stray off of that. But when we stray off of it too far, we got to make sure we always come back to the kernel. Like, here's how it works. Here's how you do it. Try new things. Go do things that make you uncomfortable. Don't kind of fall to the rabbit hole of like, I'm going to like stay at Flatiron for 20 years and be uncomfortable, or not. I'm going to be so comfortable that now going to something different, I'm uncomfortable. Right?
Yeah. You're going to have to repeatedly expose yourself to tasks.
Yeah. Over and over and over again.
Common
and comfortable, and then push yourself to a different margin. Try to get a promotion at work. Go out with new people. Go do something different. Try different tasks. Lift a heavier weight in the gym instead of what you normally do. Go a lighter weight and go faster. Go anything, literally anything, right? It's expanding the margins of your experiences to new things, which then, if you were going to say in the fitness world, it makes you fitter because it makes you have a more general, broad, diverse.
In the fitness world, you're constrained.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to just expand 10 skills.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Here in life, that's just infinite.
Because there's a million different things.
Yeah. So like if I tried coffee once, waited 10 years, had a cup of coffee, I'm probably going to be just as uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like you're saying, you have to expose yourself to it, but you're never going to be exposed to it if you don't try it.
Yeah. So if you're trying to be a musician, you've got to expose yourself.
Yeah. So like, that's me, right? I'm holding this thing. I'm getting comfortable holding it. Then eventually, like, I'll just start putting, my fingers will just flow better up here, right? Yeah. Then I'll start to just be able to rock out some jams.
Versus if you just put it down.
Yeah.
Or never picked it up. Just said, I don't play music.
It's a way now. So, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
So that's a simple. That's the simplest model out of all of them, I think.
Yeah.
It's like super easy. It's like, here, pull out whatever task, complete it. And again, then there's like science behind it in the fitness world. It's like, well, how do you determine who, like, run a 400 meter? What's your module, or not your module? What's your gradient to say how's that fits? Whoever gets it done the fastest obviously wins.
Yeah.
So then it's like whoever lifts the heaviest weight wins. So in the real world, it would be like, what if I said, how do we measure what that looks like almost? And that would be the harder part.
To your exposure point, think about just something simple like running. I'll use a physical activity. If I said, Luke, run 100 meters, anyone's just going to go full metal, right? Not much thinking involved. You just run as hard as you can. But if I said, Luke, run up 400, now you might not really know what to do. You might start that 400 in a full sprint and just fall on your face in literally 150 meters out, just be dead.
Yeah, I agree.
Then that exposure, you start to learn your pace, your time. Like I said, this is just a simple example of just how exposure can affect you, not just physically, but mentally. Like Luke does a mile, and with CrossFit, random, he just keeps doing a mile, exposing himself to the mile. Eventually, Luke starts to know, like, okay, I know where I'm at right now. I know this feeling. I know this pace. I know I can push here. I know I got to slow down a little bit or I'm going to blow out. Luke starts to develop the experience and expand his margins there.
Yeah.
So to the same point of just Luke never played the ukulele. Luke starts putting together common sounds with common strings. He starts to memorize where those sounds come from. He starts to hear different things. And soon enough, Luke's playing ukulele. Hopper model. Anyone want to debate that?
Correctamundo.
That's the Hopper model, dude. Nobody's got anything? Chat, you out there? Guys, you got anything for the Hopper model? I think it's an easy one to understand in my eyes. When I was going through trying to like study for different things, you just keep posting it. I think that was the easiest one for me to actually understand.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to dig in deeper, the reason we have this argument or debate about what varied means is CrossFit defines itself as CrossFit is constantly varied, high intensity, functional movements, or constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. So that being said, is like that's a good little definition that digs in. The only reason you can understand that is because we define. Sorry for that, guys.
I got allergies, dude. It's
is
bad.
Defining that. So aside from that, what else you got for the chat? We'll dig in, talk about it more. Next episode, we'll probably dig in and just talk about more life stuff. We'll give you updates on the house, maybe talk about Procore, business, life.
Yeah.
If you guys have topics, like I said in the beginning of the last podcast, which was 10 minutes before this one launched, we had some other things in there. If you guys don't like anything about the podcast, let us know. We're still learning. We spent a lot of time last night watching like the Full Send podcast. What else?
We'll dovetail into this nicely. I think the podcast, great example
of what, like being
Hopper model. We now have all these new tasks that Luke and I have never done.
Doing this is uncomfortable,
unfamiliar. Do we write a script? How should this flow?
Yeah. Well, we've been trying that. We've tried like episode 1 to now is, I think, way different, but it's uncomfortable still. Like having to talk, having to make sure things flow, making sure you're looking at the camera. Where do I look? Do I look at you? Whatever it might be, right?
Yeah. And through variance, doing this different ways every time, Luke and I are going to expose us to all the different ways to do this, and then we can better execute it and figure out what works for us.
Yeah, better. Exactly. Better. Yeah. It's going to be doing that. We're going to learn what we're good at, what's in our circle, what's in our wheelhouse.
Let's pull up the iPad real quick. I'll show you real quick.
G, pull up the iPad.
G, let's show them. I think this works really good. So this is Luke and I's wheel. All we're good at right now is talking. That's what we're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
We have all this other stuff to uncover outside of just talking. Flow of conversation, et cetera, et cetera. So Luke and I, through doing this podcast various times, a bunch of different ways, will expand the margins.
And go through it and get better at being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because right, if you guys were to sit back and be like, well, you guys' flow was off, this was off. You put flow in our comfort zone. But on the
this is our comfort zone.
Okay, so yeah, on the outside would exactly be our flow. What's good? What's not good? Are our topics good? Are we communicating well? Are we talking over each other? Is the chat interested? Do we have any viewers? Do we have no viewers?
Yeah,
I think that's the hard part. So, we're only episode 5 in. Leave in the comments again. We would appreciate it.
So what do you got going on next week?
Start work. Procore. I'm excited. I don't even remember if we talked about that yet. Andy Procore is our number 1 salesman. So Procore, we are a technology company. I'm going to be selling tech. I'm going to be selling a software, start out basics. Never done a corporate job. So me and Matt were setting up my computer this morning, going through the loops, going through all that. He wanted me to work for free for Procore. Trill was like, absolutely not. Don't do it until Monday when you start. So I'm stuck in the middle. Don't really know what to do there. And then we move into the house. I'm coaching at the gym.
What are you excited for most?
At the job?
At the job.
I was saying this the other day. I've never in my, I'm not in my life. Since I started working, I always had to work on weekends for like the last fucking 13, 15 years. Since I was like 13, I started working at a restaurant. Not even vacations, just like going to work during the day, coming home and like having dinner with people. Like I lived with my parents and it was like, Luke, do you work tonight? Yeah, of course I work tonight. It's a fucking Wednesday. And then it's a Thursday. And then I worked Friday. Then I worked Saturday. And then it was like I would work some doubles on Sundays, then Sundays. And then we're like way back at like SIPs. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, doubles on Sundays. It was every single day. And again, it's not during the day when everybody else is off. It's at nighttime. So I think this would be the chance for me to like have friendships, have relationships, go on dates or hang out with people, whatever it looks like. Like I've never, like that's like seeing the outside world of what people do. Maybe I'll experience that in my life. And I'm not saying I want to do all those things. I just want like, a normal, I'm going to call it a normal life.
Chad, what's a good work schedule? I waffle with this. So I've been in the typical 9 to 5 for a long time now. Sometimes I miss the retail. I'll tell you the one thing that I really hate is I hate going to the grocery store on weekends. And I like the work schedule where you have one weekend off or like a day of the weekend off and you have an odd day, like a weekday off. So like a Monday, Sunday as your day off, I always thought was badass because like you can go do stupid errands
when everybody else is working
on Monday and it's like the nicest thing ever. Like no lines in the grocery store. All the meat is yours to choose from.
Well, I'm telling you, I've experienced that for years.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was cool. I could walk the dog every day. And then once I started the gym, it changed a little bit because it was like, all right, we need to be home. And I had to be home an hour and I still need to work out. And then I go to work on these days and I have scheduling and I have admin stuff to do. But
I hate the thing in like retail and the service industry where you're basically on call. Yeah, like, sure, always. It's not like someone calls you when you're off, but like you literally only have 1 week of a schedule and then the next week could look completely different. Yeah, I think that's most
the worst part is like even your money's dependent on like if there's a holiday happening, if there's something weather. I also work on every holiday. It's like I'm a nurse or a doctor.
Or I couldn't be like, hey, Luke, man, you want to go to Big Bear next week? You'd be like,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm telling you. Like when I lived here last time, that was like that said to Charles. Like I think that was the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Was like every weekend it was like, you guys, we want to go do stuff. We want to walk the dogs. I need to be back. Or I worked on Sundays or I didn't want to stay up. And then it was I wake up and coach the next morning.
Yeah.
It was still custom. I mean, owning a gym is a customer service business. Just an FYI if you didn't know that. Definitely you work night times. You work when the rest of the world is off. So I think that will also be just different because it will be like I'll be working Procore some days in the office, some days home. That's my biggest anxiety, to be honest. Just the traffic.
So it's not the money. You're not really just in this for the money. It's just for some fucking consistency.
I think consistency in life. Yeah, it's not about the money. Like when I talked to the hiring manager, it was like, I want your job. He's like, well, you'll make less money. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'd rather do that. I'd rather talk to people, help people become better than me.
Yeah.
And like give people the tools and like help them grow and help do all that.
According to your personality test, you're destined to be a manager.
I want to be a manager. Gee, pull my personality test. I'm kidding. Gee, don't pull it up. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy that. Like I like talking to people. Like one of my favorite things so far about the gym, I never had the opportunity at mine with just me and Nikki to do coaching evals and like do that part of it and like helping develop the coaching staff. I think it's going to be fun because it's going to be fucking challenging. Yeah. But it's like dealing with people's emotions, but it's also then allowing you guys to all grow and self-reflect and see where things go and how to get better and what to do. That part I'm excited for.
If you know that's your passion, then like I feel like when you're at Procore, you should look around and see what job checks those boxes.
in the company.
So like as you're doing your typical role, just look around and be like, all right, what looks like a coach here? And then I would chase that role because I feel like you'll be happier there.
Well, funny, yeah. I was talking the other day to a friend and trying to figure out what secret, like hidden talents do we have as people. Like, yeah, you can show everybody your talent. Matt thinks this is a talent, but it's, again, these aren't like super things you're good at, but like random things. I was saying, like, can I open a wine bottle with one hand? Like, can I put a cork with a wine opener in it and open it with one hand? No. So I was just trying to think of different things, but that was my example to explain to him what I was looking for. So he says that his superpower is showing. And
check it out, yeah. So my two hands right here, right? I put them together and I form this little dog. So like he's kind of talking to me. He put his ears down too.
So that's his superpower. Like if you were to say to me, do that, definitely can't do that. So yeah, I would agree. That's a superpower. So I don't think I have any.
Yeah, we'd have to think about that.
Like unique superpowers. It can't be like, I don't want it to be something like you're really good at talking. Like I kind of was like, I was trying to think in my head. I was like, well, is it like me doing accents? Does that count? That's like the only thing I could think of.
I mean, you do have good accents, but it's how quickly can you do it?
Yeah, it's like I have to, like, some people can, like, I could say, do Stewie from Family Guy. Boom, you would hit it right away. If I said to you, do Scott from The Office, you'd be able to do that. Not you, somebody. So like, I don't think that's even a superpower for me. I could do like fucking 4 that I've heard, and I had to hear them 1,000 times. So that was what we were kind of, talking about. So into the working world, I was more concerned, like, what am I actually good at? Like, where would I be able to go with these things? My different talents, It's
a question for you to find out, dude.
Well, I got to figure that out. That's the hard part.
Once you go to the corporate world, you'll start to find talents. I think the best thing you can do is just meet the people, talk to the people if you like talking.
Yeah, I do. I like talking, I like guiding people, like helping people. Who do you think is the best person in this world who's helped you so far the most?
Probably Luke.
In what sense? Like, why do you think that happened? Or it doesn't have to be me, anybody. Is there different things that helped you, or different people who've helped you kind of navigate things?
I just feel like we don't feel like we ever have any stupid ideas.
When
do we ever say to each other, like, that's fucking dumb, dude?
Yeah, usually never. We try it. Well,
I was like, oh shit, dude.
I can recall one thing that you told me was dumb, but I don't want to bring it up. We'll keep that out of here. There's been a couple things that you've told me were stupid, but I don't think they're that bad.
Yeah. I mean, like ideas though, not relationships.
Yeah. No, you're right. My iPad says 9:41 a.m. I just noticed that.
We gotta fix that.
Yeah, where's that even set to?
We're on the Australian time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got no live call. Does anybody want to call in? Otherwise, we got to clean the house. I think G has it set. If I say that, it just pops up automatically. I could send it to some friends, but you got anything else for the people?
No, I think we'll just close it here.
Yeah, this was a rough one today, in my opinion. It was really jacked up with the tech. It threw us off.
Do live self-reflection.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, right, if I were to do an outsider, I'm gonna leave you guys here for a second. If I were to analyze what we did well today, I think we talked more. There wasn't much downtime. If I said what we did really bad,
it was a lot.
It was a lot. We were all over the place. I don't think we did a good job explaining to you guys the Hopper model.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think we relied too much on you guys calling in.
Yeah, I brought it up 5 times.
About just now is like,
thanks,
G. We have feedback for you too, G. I think one of the other things is time of day. We didn't really think about that. So right now it's
2 in the afternoon.
2 in the afternoon. Everyone's just chipping away at work.
Oh yeah, it's 2 in the afternoon, East Coast.
Here it's not even noon, so no one's on lunch. So they're also at work.
Yeah, so we're gonna probably adjust the schedule moving forward. It's also gonna change next week when I'm at work. So it's probably gonna be done on Saturdays for you guys. Or Sundays. We don't know.
Sunday morning might be a good time.
Yeah, we'll have to
hop on the old Nobo podcast. Wake up to us.
Yeah, what do you think, Chad? We're gonna have to figure that out. You guys let us know. But lots of self-reflection. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. Promise you next week it's just gonna get better from here. You got to remember that.
I will agree. I think the technical difficulty. I thought we were really starting to flow there, like going on a good subject of train of thought, talking about our passions, and then that interrupt. We didn't really know where to pick off.
We like the way I am. I might make us do one on Sunday, just for like a recovery one. Yeah, we're gonna probably rerun a new episode on Sunday, so we'll let it know. We might have some guests that we pre-set up. Like we're gonna try that route. So like, see, that's the constantly varied part. We're like this Hopper model. We're gonna try a bunch of different options. These are pre-planned. but we got to see what works and what doesn't. So remember, always try new things in your life. And yes, don't forget Eric sucks. All right, guys. Well, hopefully, if you made it this far, thank you.
Thanks.
You got to end this. You got to end it.